What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Monday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I'm going to be celebrating New Year's out here in Arizona here with my folks. Looking forward to Scottsdale and all it has to offer here. Going to be hitting up DraftKings Sportsbook. Going to be hitting up everywhere here. If you're out in the area, come say hi. Would love to see you. That is for sure. But no matter what, we're going to be betting a lot of things here on Monday in the NBA streets. I do have a lot coming to you in the late night window, so I'm excited to talk you through that. But we got 7 games on the docket. Kind of a lukewarm, weird end of my betting week, that's for sure. Ended up kind of like just basically, hey, hit all of my big bets, but had a couple of smaller bets that accumulated that just didn't get there. And so looking at my bet tracker, yeah, it was up about 1.5 units in the NBA streets over the last 8 days. I'm looking for more than that, obviously, with Portfolio EV here on the Odd Chopper channel, as well as all of the things that I have before me. I should be up more than that over the course of an 8-day sample size, but we're going to get ourselves back on track here, rocking on Monday in the free world. Going to be good stuff. Producer Jacob's on hand. He's excited. He also liked that song. I could tell he appreciated that. So we're going to get ourselves right to it. We'll talk about Lindy 5-0. It's not behind my head like normal. I should probably figure out how to use that TV. Just freaking sitting there, Eric. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Game number 1, Chicago taking on Charlotte in this one. And holy mother of God, do you have to remove guys from this game? LaMelo Ball doubtful, Brandon Miller doubtful, Cody Martin doubtful. All of that hit on Sunday, and it shifted this line immediately. Now, I think we already saw the potential of this happening because they didn't play over Saturday. But anyway, we got LaMelo Ball out, and that's the biggie. Brandon Miller being out, that's the second biggie. Cody Martin doesn't suck, but you do get Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic back in there. We have Ayo Dosunmu doubtful on the Chicago side, which obviously creates more certainty for Josh Giddey's minutes. I thought a couple of his overs might look good, but no, alas, doesn't. 227.5 total here. Went through all of it and really didn't find anything that I liked. And if I'm being honest, didn't really find anything that I liked all that much in this game. So with Micic starting there at the point guard position, looking at some of his assist props, I'm assuming we get Seth Curry, Josh Green, Miles Bridges, Mark Williams starting alongside them. Yeah. Can't believe that I'm not favoring Chicago here. It's Charlotte plus 6.5 as a lean. Repeat, we do things lean like lock. If you've never seen this before, this is not a bet. This is my favorite bet that exists in this game as of right now. I almost made it Josh Giddey in terms of points plus assists, but decided to end up passing in the end. Chicago, they don't like Giddey, and they traded for him. Great job. Great job, front office. Hi, Jalen Brunson. How are you this fine evening? Well, he's doing pretty well coming off of a 50 piece. Yeah, you heard me. He was questionable facing Washington in Washington. Why don't we just run that back, shall we? But Jalen Brunson sitting with a Q tag again. He played 44 minutes. He went absolutely berserk in that overtime period. 55 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. One of the biggest stat lines we've seen all season long. And we've seen some big stat lines from Cat on his own team. We've seen some ridiculous triple-double type stat lines from Josh Hart, but overall, we haven't seen a lot of 55 pieces. We saw Wemby go berserk, more than once over the course of this season. A couple of 50s pieces, actually, over the course of the first 2.5 months of the NBA season. But Jalen Brunson, the most recent of it. And you know what? I'm not even going to just deal with this Washington side of stuff. Jordan Poole is questionable. You're not going to get props for Bub Carrington. You're not going to get props for Bilal Coulibaly yet. Maybe we get them in the morning. That would be very nice. But Anthony Gill upgraded to questionable. Otherwise, they have so many guys that are healthy and active. Malcolm Brogdon can step into that starting unit for Jordan Poole. That's no issue. Again, they've started to utilize Bub Carrington more. Jonas Valanciunas, they're putting him on ice, getting ready to utilize him later down the line. And Justin Champagny, he's been somebody who plays massive minutes at times. Kaishan George, so many different dudes who can get mixed in on the Washington side. They're healthier than they've been in quite some time. And I guess I'm keeping the biggie, Kyle Kuzma, off the injury report. So no matter what, I'm looking at the Knicks side here. I'm looking at Jalen Brunson. He's your only play right now. I have a small play on his over 25.5 points. It's minus 106 on Caesars. You know something else minus 106 on Caesars? Our next play. And what is that, you ask? It is the Clippers at New Orleans. And, DeJounte Murray has been kind of a staple talking point of this program. Now, I've only bet him, I think, one time Let me double check. I don't want to be a liar. And it takes me like 2 seconds to go. DeJounte. And there we go. Typing like my dad types on his phone when he's texting. One finger like that. There we go. I bet him twice. I'm over 2. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Bet an over and I bet an under. And he went over on the over. How did he go over in anything? He's had one of the worst shooting years of all time. We're talking like sub 42% true shooting, effective field goal percentage that is in the first percentile in the entire NBA. Now he's taking on a Clippers team that is so defensively forward. I think we're all aware of that. And yet, I have a small play on DeJounte Murray over 26.5 points plus assists here in this spot, purely because we're talking 17.5 points being his prop here, but it's minus 112 right now. Maybe it gets a little bit better tomorrow when you're listening to this. Always be very sensitive to the price that you're paying. Such a big part of this program, such an important thing that we do every single day. But over 26.5 points plus assists with his assist rate, with Trey Murphy knocking down shots the way that he is right now, I think that that's a little bit useful. Eva Smith, he's questionable in the injury report. Only guy, though, that we're sitting there missing. So I think this is basically just an origination type process. DeJounte Murray, over 26.5 points plus assists. You go back to any of his numbers with Atlanta, San Antonio, he can't be this bad going forward. Although I've said that for like a month. Friends, 50% off Lindy 50. That is down at the link below. You fire that up, you get yourself 50% off the premium Discord, as well as all the notifications coming off the OddsShopper app from me directly to your phone when I bet something. Now, it is $10 for your first month when you sign up with Lindy 50. It is $25 for your first month when you use Lindy 50. That is less than $1 a day. I know I say that a lot, but here's the thing. It's less than $1 a day to get all of my picks for an entire month. And if you, at the end of that month, you decide, oh, this guy sucks, he's an absolute fraud, he's a joke. Well, first off, I'll be sad because I'll be poorer than you. But second off, it'll be an awesome opportunity for you to just hit eject and hit the road jack. But we have so many people who have stuck around. And the main reason why is because this is a profitable system. We are going through OddsShopper every single day. We're finding portfolio EV bets in the EV streets. We're also firing up all of my projections every single day to find the absolute tippy top of bets as many times as we humanly possibly can over the NBA slates and the NFL slates. And once again, in March, when the MLB starts back up as well. Can't wait for that to be here. Producer Jacob probably doesn't. But Lindy 50, friends, 50% off. Back to the picks we go. What do we got? 4 games. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell left. We talk Denver at Utah, and some of the pace metrics are a little bit surprising for me this season when it comes to what we're looking at here with Denver and what we're looking at here on the other side. But Denver, 5th in pace. That was the thing that really kind of jumped out to me. And what could be different? Oh, yeah. Russell Westbrook has been starting here for the Denver Nuggets alongside Christian Brown, alongside Jamal Murray, alongside, well, not Aaron Gordon, who's going to be out here for the foreseeable future, it looks like. Well, it's like a week, I think that they basically said. But we're going to look at Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic, and then you have chances for Michael Porter Jr. to get ripped out the floor, although we know he's offensively forward. So is Julian Strother or anybody who's replacing him to some extent. But I look at Denver and I look at a team that I did not expect to be top 5 in pace, especially with Nikola Jokic being your centerpiece. But they're just finding ways to be effective playing up in pace against these kind of teams. And what do I mean by these kind of teams? I mean the bad ones. Utah, 100 on the dot possessions per 48 minutes there. They're 12th in the NBA. It's wild to see Denver there at 5th when you think about the construction of both of these rosters, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, as Bruce Almighty would say. And I look at Jamal Murray. He's at minus 135. No, it's at minus 115 now. That's way better over at Bet365. Damn good find. Why don't you suck it to me one more time? Get a low. Maybe you want to bet that. Maybe you want to bet that. It's minus 145 for Russell Westbrook at the same number. It's kind of wild. Might have to rerun some stuff, but it's a lean for now. Jamal Murray, he definitely stood out to me in the first run. Didn't bet it yet, though. That's why you see the lean guy. This, you'll see the like guy, Cleveland at Golden State. And why can I get plus money in like the plus 140 realm here with the Golden State Warriors? I don't know. Cleveland's getting a lot of respect, and trust me, Cleveland has looked awesome this season. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, getting defensively forward. Dean Wade out there in the starting unit alongside Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, the only guy on the injury report right now. And then off the bench, we've seen time and time again, send it in, Jerome. And Karis LeVert plays some fantastic basketball for them. Max Strus coming off the bench here as he's getting acclimated again. Probably should continue to come off the bench if we're being honest, because just throw Dean Wade in there, especially if Evan Mobley's going to be knocking down shots. And Evan Mobley's a GOAT because he decided to knock down some threes for us in the premium Discord. Plus 240, plus 260 for 2+ threes. Oh, he goes 4 for 6. It was so beautiful. Probably should have played the 3+, 4+. I know some people did. I know some people took my analysis and really ran it to the bank. I sadly ended up drawing a line in the sand at 2+, which was, in hindsight, not fun, but he shot it very effectively, if I'm being honest. But Golden State, plus 140 here, I think is actually the interesting side of this one for me. You get Draymond Green and Steph Curry both off the injury report, and Steph looked just fine the other night. Dennis Schroeder, another game acclimated. They're going to get the rapport going, and they're just a deep basketball team. Even with Podziemski and Gary Payton out for this one, Moses Moody, Kuminga playing some ridiculous ball here of late, and Buddy Hield getting yelled at by Draymond Green from time to time. Real ones know what I'm talking about if you know ball. But I think Golden State at plus 140 here at home with a new construction, with Steph Curry and Draymond Green back on the floor. I was a little surprised to see this number this wide, and I just chose towards the money line for the ultimate, hey, if you're right about this game and this game is competitive and it's more 50-50, I'd rather just spike the upside of a plus 140 rather than getting the points here at minus 110. So it's a 50-cent difference between them. I don't really mind the plus 3.5 if you're going that direction, but I strongly prefer, if I'm going to be right, I want to be right the whole way with Golden State money line. Philly taking on Portland, and Philly's starting to play some better basketball here of late. It doesn't really, it obviously coincides with the fact that Joel Embiid's back and playing pretty healthy. 12-17 now on the season, which sounds terrible because it's Philly, and Philly was one of the, main contenders in the East. They still can be. There's a lot that can happen in the next month plus with the trade deadline impending here at the beginning of February. There's a lot of time between then and now, and 76ers need to keep winning basketball games, especially against teams like Portland, who have basically nothing to play for other than the future. They're 11-20, though. It's funny to see them down in the doldrums along with the 76ers in terms of record. But Portland, I think we can all agree a little bit worse on that side of it with Tamani Kamara and Jeremy Grant both questionable. But I can't really do anything with this right now because we do have Joel Embiid questionable as well. And I think that's where Paul George, if you could just tell me right now Joel Embiid's out, this number would be 19.5. 20.5. And you'd obviously also want to get yourself invested on the Tyrese Maxey side, but it's kind of middling the number. And by that, I mean Tyrese Maxey's already up north of that 26.5 type number. That's already middled to have Joel Embiid either in or out. It's dead in the middle of the two. I don't want to be dealing with that. And so Paul George, where it's already on the low range of his outcomes, I think over 16.5 points, sitting at minus 118 on Caesars. Man, Caesars getting a lot of love from me today. Again, I don't discriminate, just absolutely love to play whatever the best number is that is available for the plays I'm looking for. And Paul George, over 16.5 points. This would be a slam dunk if you had Embiid out. To the lock portion of the program, our last game of the night, Dallas getting 3.5, taking on Sacramento. We're talking about plus 140 on the Dallas side. A little bit interesting. But as opposed to what I was just talking about with the Golden State side, where it's hey, I want the upside of that. I want to snag all the points I can get here against a Sacramento team that just doesn't have that cohesion. Now, Mike Brown gets fired. It was an atrocious firing, an absolutely abhorrent firing. Mike Malone said as much, and I think Mike Malone's kind of a joke of a coach there in Denver, if I'm being honest. I think a lot of people could put together a team around Nikola Jokic and be successful. Now, I don't want to completely besmirch him. He won an NBA title. He's found ways to be successful, but he talked a huge game for a guy that I don't think impacts the game as much as what he thinks. Mike Brown had Sacramento playing inside the top 15 in defense to start off the season. Do you know how hard that is to do with Domantas Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan in your starting five playing 36+ minutes a night? That is very, very hard to do. Mike Brown being fired is an absolute joke. So we have some turnover there. We saw Sacramento not really put it together against Los Angeles, skim down to the end, Lakers win by double digits without LeBron on the floor. This is a Sacramento team that's reeling. And Dallas, this same construction has been together for a while, and it basically hit the ground running when they acquired PJ Washington. Now, of course, your main piece, Luka Doncic, is out, and he's going to be out for another month and a half plus here. You also have Derek Lively, who is questionable entering this one, but this is the first game where I've leaned on the side of him being in over the course of the last week here. We've seen Daniel Gafford in that starting unit, and he's useful. Maxi Kleber off the bench can be useful. Quentin Grimes can be useful. Dwight Powell, not very useful. But Kyrie, Spencer Dinwiddie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, I like those four guys that they put together in the starting unit first time in a long time. And mainly they have to because Najee Marshall's suspended here for 3 games. But you're giving me 3.5 points against this team, this version of Sacramento that is a team that I've attacked for years now, a year and a half. Since they acquired Domantas Sabonis, basically, I've found ways to short the Sacramento team, whether it was the Golden State series on this very same program, whether it was the beginning of this year, although sometimes unsuccessfully. I've really attacked Sacramento whenever it behooved me because Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, who's been improved defensively, probably not anymore in the post-Mike Brown era, and DeMar DeRozan, well, it doesn't even need to be said that De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk aren't good defenders. So those guys specifically in that front court, they're a joke. They're awful at defending. And I think Dallas is going to put plenty of points on the board, 227.5 in Dallas. The one thing we know about them with PJ Washington on the floor, and if you can get Daniel Gafford especially, is that they can play defense and clutch. So Dallas plus 3.5, my favorite play, period. Not even remotely close, actually. I've got this closer to 6, and that is with Derek Lively in. If he ends up out, that's going to be closer to 5.5. And yet, because of where that lies at plus 3.5, you have the free throw shooting game. I feel pretty comfortable getting these points as opposed to the money line here on the Dallas side. I think this game is very, very competitive. And that does it for your edition of Monday Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button down below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely slate we have before us. 7 games. 7 games. Look at that. I can count on my fingers. We're going to get out of here. Producer Jacob, we're going to get out of here. I think I'll see you all on Tuesday, and then I'll see you on Wednesday. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, we just keep working. Different location. We just keep on working. I love my job. It's fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Monday.